Hey guys, today we are going to make these really cute little knot rings. We're going to make one with 2 wires there, and then we've got this one with 1 wire. We're going to make the single knot ring first, so we just need about 6 inches of the 20 gauge wire. And we just start by gently forming it into the knot shape, so just gently maneuvering it. You don't want to fold your wire anywhere, so you want to just work with it so that it can just slowly bend into place. And we're trying to get this knot in the middle of the wire approximately. So I'm just grabbing it there on both ends with my pliers and pulling it nice and tight until you've got your knot down the size that you want it. And then I'm just working with my pliers to make it sort of starting to be flat on the top there where the knot is. And I've got a little Sharpie here, so sort of about the size of a finger. If you've got a ring mandrel, that's okay as well. So I just start by wrapping those wires around the Sharpie. Then you sort of need to find the size that you're going to make it. So pop it on the finger that you want to wear it on. Just be a little bit careful while you're doing this too, because they tend to go smaller when you fix them at the back. Certainly don't make it too small or it won't fit the finger that you want it to. So when you're happy with the size of your ring, we're just going to put the connection at the back to hold the ring secure. Just grabbing it there with your pliers at the back, and we want to make sure that this connection that we're going to put in is going to be directly opposite the knot, so right in the middle there. And so I just normally grab it with my pliers slightly off center so that then I can pull my wire across the other wire, and then just moving where your pliers are holding that first wire. Then I just grab the second wire and pull that across as well. So you'll see there that we've made a little connection there, and it's sort of looking like the start of a knot. They're pulled around each other. Then just snipping that little tail there, leaving just a couple of millimeters that we are going to be able to bend around the other wire. You can see there that's sort of connected there, and now we just need to bend each wire, each tail around, and that's going to secure your ring in place. Sorry, I'm going a little bit off screen there. And then just crimping it down. You don't want any sharp pieces of wire that will dig into your skin or anything. And you also want to have it quite smooth, no lumps or bumps or anything like that, so it's comfortable to wear. Just working with your wires there, crimping them down, making sure they're all nice and tight. And there's your single wire knot ring. Now we're just going to move on to the double wire ring. This is very similar, this one, except that this time we need 2 lengths of 6 inches of our 20 gauge wire. We start again the same design with forming a knot in the middle of our wire. And again, just being really careful not to bend the wire in a tight bend anywhere. That will create a weak spot there. And then we just feed in the second wire next to the original wire that you've just tied your knot in. So we just feed that through the knot there, and then just follow it around in the same direction as the knot. Just remembering that we're trying to work this knot into the middle. You can sort of pull the wires on the short side, and that will pull them out again. And you're just sort of working with your wires, so sometimes you'll be pulling both and sometimes you'll just be pulling one. So I just tug on each one there, just working your knot down to be a bit smaller. just gently pulling each one and trying to get that knot towards the middle. Then you can just start working with your wires to bend them so that they're sort of flat on the top and so that the knot sits flat on the top of the ring. Trying to keep your wires nice and straight as well. So then we've got our Sharpie again, and we're just going to start by wrapping our wires around it just to start sizing our ring. So just wrapping each side around both wires. And then if we need to adjust the size, we can just push these parts here down. That just gently makes it a little bit bigger. Just sizing it for whichever finger you want to wear it on. And again, these have a tendency to get smaller as you put the clasp in at the back. So just making sure you're not making it too small, and probably best to make it a little bit bigger than smaller. When you've got the sizing right for your ring, we just grab it at the back side, just slightly off center, so that your connection part is going to be able to be straight in the middle. And just grabbing it, and then we are just going to pull both wires down, just one at a time. So the closest to the middle first, and then the other one. And then we're just going to flip the ring around and grab it with your pliers, just to hold them nice and tight. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So that first inner wire first, and then the second wire. So that should be forming a nice little connection there where those wires are going to wrap around each other. So just sort of holding them in place and trying to get them to sit nicely and flat. Then we just cut the tails off nice and short, leaving a couple of millimeters there. Again, we're just going to sort of bend these wires around, and that will hold them in place nice and securely. And then crimping each wire down. So just bending that one around and crimping it down. And then the same on this side, so just snipping those tails off just so there's a couple of millimeters left. Again, we're just going to sort of bend these wires around, crimping down nice and tight. Now you can just go over your whole design, making sure there's no sharp bits, making sure that the ring is looking symmetrical and nice and rounded. You're happy with your knot. It's quite a simple design, nice and dainty as well. And there's the double wired knotted ring.